Okay, the last thing that we're going to talk about with this unit is our resources. Water is one of our natural resources. So we're going to talk about how water can be used specifically as a resource in other types. So our essential question for today is how can natural resources be identified and classified? So this is learning target 10, differentiate between renewable and non-renewable resources and explain how we can make responsible choices about the resources we use on a daily basis. Okay, so let's talk about non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources are also known as fossil fuels. Okay, reason why they're called fossil fuels is because they're the fuel that we get from fossils. Fossils are found in sedimentary rocks, and over time, plant fossils can be pressurized and turn into a liquid that is used as a fuel. So, non-renewable resources or fossil fuels are energy resources on Earth that are being used faster than Earth's natural processes can replace them. They also cause pollution, as you can tell from my lovely picture right down here. Okay, so we will eventually run out of fossil fuels, and the Earth cannot replenish fossil fuels as fast as we are using them. And plus, they're not exactly healthy for our Earth. So there are three types of fossil fuels. First one is coal. It's the most abundant fossil fuel. It's the one we have the most of. Okay, coal is a rock that's formed when plants die in swampy areas. So when plants die in swampy areas, over time, this takes millions of years. Most of the coal that we're getting formed 65 million years ago. So that was back when the dinosaurs were here. Um, so when plants die in swampy areas, and um, the plants get pushed into the rock, into sedimentary rocks over time, that sedimentary rock gets pressurized, and we have a rock that forms as coal. Okay, and then there's a picture of what coal looks like. The next fossil fuel is oil. Oil is a thick black liquid that's formed from the buried remains of microscopic marine organisms. So when marine organisms die and their remains fall down to the ocean floor, over time, those rock layers get compacted and cemented together, and you have a thick liquid that forms called oil. And again, this takes also millions of years to form for this to happen. And then the last fossil fuel is natural gas. It's formed the same way as oil, but instead of a liquid, but in a, I'm sorry, that's not liquid state, it should be a gas state. But instead of oil's a liquid, this is when the marine organisms have been compressorized so much that it's actually in a gas instead of a liquid state. So natural gas is the same thing as oil, except it's in a gas state of matter instead of a liquid. It takes millions of years to form, and we will run out of all of these. And these fossil fuels, coal, oil, and natural gas, the reason why they cause pollution is because they're also not easy to get to. There's a lot of things that will go wrong when we're trying to transport oil or drilling for oil, mining for coal. So there's a lot of things that are not exactly the best for our Earth when we're using fossil fuels. Okay, so now let's talk about renewable resources. This is the energy that we will not run out of in the future. So renewable resources are the resources that we want to make sure we start using a lot of because we're not going to run out of these. So some examples. Solar is energy from the sun. Wind, obviously, it's energy from wind. Up in Gilpin, we've seen those wind turbines. Wind is one of the best ones up in the Gilpin County because, oh my goodness, we get so much wind. Hydroelectric is energy from moving water. Geothermal is energy from beneath the Earth's crust. And biomass is energy from burning organic matter like wood, garbage, and corn. So instead of burning coal, a fossil fuel to create energy, you would burn wood, garbage, and corn or biomass. So those are examples of renewable energies sources. Okay, and then what we're going to be doing is you guys are going to do a lot of activities and researching what are some advantages and disadvantages to both renewable and non-renewable resources, and you're going to be doing a small project on how we could make sure and make people aware of those advantages and disadvantages.